I feel like whenever I put on my glasses, I feel that much smarter and ready to take on complex conversations. Do you ever feel like that? Hi, I'm Willie and this is the Breslin, and today we're going to be talking about plant care, maintenance, and mental health. When I started this channel, I was pretty much in a rut. I think I was pretty depressed, and I was looking for something to channel my energy into to give me purpose in my daily life that wasn't so tied to success or failure or the genuine rat race of capitalism that we're all living in. But anyways, for me, plants sort of gave me an inner feeling of serenity. I thought they were very beautiful, and prior to living in the house that I live in now, I couldn't keep anything alive, and I've now identified that was because we had terrible natural light in our last house. But here, the future is bright, pun intended, and with a little help and a little bit of love, they grow pretty great. So I committed fully to plant care and husbandry as a form of self-love. And I feel like it's the perfect segue. There was one key component that really liberated me while caring for multiple houseplants. And that was I stopped anthropomorphizing them because it wasn't helpful, and it actually didn't make me care for any of the plants any better. It just made me feel sad. So I sort of just started thinking about all my plants like heads of lettuce. You know, like when you buy a bag of salad and then it languishes in your fridge and you throw it away and it kind of pisses you off, but you move on pretty quickly. Yeah, that's sort of my process now if a houseplant fails. I put them in the compost bin and then I move on. Number two, it's probably not that shocking that I can lose focus sometimes. So I've been keeping lists. It's been a game changer. I write down my watering, my fertilizing, my pruning, and I never, ever stack everything on one day. The maintenance is an ever-evolving process, and that equals letting yourself off the hook. You can pick up what you didn't complete today the next day. The plant will be fine. Most plants die from overwatering, not underwatering. Just enjoy and trust the journey. Yeah, taking care of plants is great. Anyways, let's put those feelings into action and do a little bit of maintenance. You gonna help me? So first things first, let's talk about watering. And I think this is the most important step of keeping yourself and plants alive. Don't you think, Whispers? So what I use to water everything is a watering can with a spout like this, and that's so that I can get underneath the plant leaves. I also fertilize every other water, and the fertilizer that I use is just Miracle Grow Indoor. Right now I'm going to show you arguably the most important piece of equipment in my entire plant care arsenal, and that is this hydrometer, or AKA a moisture meter. You put this sharp side into the soil and it will give you a reading if it is dry, moist, or wet. Now, a few things to keep in mind if you have a new or baby plant. A lot of times the soil underneath will say it's very wet, but the top is very dry, and that's because it doesn't have very many roots yet. Don't overcomplicate things. It's not that serious. Let's water some plants. Okay, so here's a really good example of what I was talking about. This Calathea network just got watered like 4 days ago, and it's now saying dry. So I'm definitely gonna give it a hearty drink of water. And the reason this one dries out so much is because the roots are so healthy. Whereas these new ones, even though they can look really healthy and really robust, they really can be overwatered quite easily. And I'm going to show you a few examples after I get done watering this one. See, and that's why I have the spout and go into this really intense foliage. That's a whole can of water. Now here is the exact counterpoint to the Calathea network. This is a monstera Ginny. It had a very hard start. It's actually the combination of two plants. and a lot of propagations that I have been growing in water. And yeah, this hasn't been watered for like 2 weeks. And if you put this in, it says that the soil is moist. Now, this is where we have to do a little bit of detective work. The top soil is quite dry. Well, we're still going to give it a little bit of water because these roots are really shallow, but they need water more than ever because if they don't have it, they're going to languish and die. So I'm going to give it a light peppering of water. But yeah, I'm happy about the progress on this, but it's kind of challenging to know. This is what works for me. I feel like it gives me a little bit more control to keep my newer plants alive and healthy. But yeah, I don't overdo it. I just put a little bit in there. And then when like this actually reads dry, I'll give it a good dousing of water. This plant is a very new soul. I really think I just wanted another excuse to talk about this syngonium, but it is kind of the same as the monstera ginny. It says that it's moist after like a week and a half of not watering it, but the top is actually quite dry. So I gave it a little bit of water. This is actually the first syngonium I've ever had. They're really pretty. And this one is a confetti, and I think that's my favorite varietal of syngonium. This plant has been responding really well to me gently misting it every day. These are really sensitive to humidity. And this has made the leaves that are unfurling, the new growth, a lot less crepey and shrunken. The power of the spray bottle. All right, so let's check this guy out here. Very dry. It's in a big pot, so I'm gonna give it a full can of water. This plant's been in transition, so I'm kind of glad it's at a point where it's pushing out new leaves. It seems healthier. It's gotten used to this new soil mix. And now I'm going to clean these leaves because, believe it or not, dusty leaves make these plants not be able to photosynthesize as well. So I am still on the Miracle-Gro leaf shine train. I use a moist microfiber cloth. I spritz the leaf, and then I support it behind with my palm so I don't break it. This stuff really gets rid of the dust, dirt. Now comes the dubious job of doing every single leaf. It looks so much better. This is actually a new leaf. This is a recent new leaf. There's 2 others unfurling at the moment. It looks so clean. Let's check in on these. My new baby ficus. Dry at the top, moist on the bottom. This pink princess says it's moist all the way through and a little bit dry on the top. The succulent is just a dry. So let's just add a little bit of water on the top of this and water this succulent. So this pink princess is a little bit disappointing. I don't think it particularly likes the humidity in my space. And I don't know, I found in general, these pink princesses, the tips of the leaves get stuck in the sheath. You know, I'm not trying to be fatalistic, but sometimes there's only so much you can do. But I have been trying to mist it more, and I've learned my lesson that I shouldn't try and help these out of the sheath. This pink princess is getting chopped tomorrow, so stay tuned. It kind of looks sad. This one's really dying. Let's take a peek at the propagations and see how they're doing. Even though they're in their set it and forget it perlite box. Show you the progress. The only ones we've lost is, of course, a few Scindapsus. Look at these roots. Tuck it safely back in. Oh my god, it hurts so bad to sit down. I recently got a Bowflex, and I'm not going to use the word getting in shape, but just doing any physical activity is almost killing me. Basically, like the Crypt Keeper, I'm a reanimated corpse, but that's about to change, because now I can probably lift 20 pounds. So this Gloriosum, it's had a few setbacks. It got spider mites, and That was very challenging getting rid of them. Luckily, they didn't spread to any of my other plants. And I think that that process has kind of made a lot of the new leaves a little bit traumatized. As you can see, this one is just, it looks a little sad. There are a few really good ones. This is one of the new ones. This smaller one looks really good. It is one of my favorite plants. I will say this is one of the harder ones to take care of that I've ever had in my collection. I feel like velvet plants in general are really beautiful, but they can be a little bit frustrating. They seem to be more prone to pests, and they're just harder to clean. So if you do have an issue, it really shows the scars. But, you know, the trauma is internal for me. Gloriosum, do me proud, and please don't have your next leaf look like this. This fiddle leaf fig is doing good, although we do have this one little like parasitic arm. And I want to get this out of the pot. I should never have repotted this and left the little fiddle leaf. It's just like two plants in one pot. And that's really, really annoying. Now on the top, we have some really healthy new leaves. This plant took like 2 years to make any new growth, so I'm very appreciative. And they do look pretty healthy. But yeah. All in all, really exciting. I just checked both of these pots with my moisture meter, and neither of these need water. It's only been a few days. I am going to be giving this a thorough cleaning with the leaf shine because, man, it's very, very dusty. I feel like the fiddle leaf leaves are really kind of fun to clean. If I have to compare it. Compared to the monstera, they're not nearly as fragile. Very validating. So adult achievement bonus unlocked. This plant looks so much better. It looks so much happier. And man, these leaves, they're a stun. Just look. Really fun to touch too. Well, here's a little fun update to share is this repotted monstera is growing a new leaf. I wanted to make sure it was completely established before I delivered it to its new home, so that's looking like an eminent possibility by the weekend. This bird of paradise, it's doing so good since all the leaves got chopped off. It sort of renewed my faith in monostatement plants. The Cebu Blue. Yeah, this was one of my most desired houseplants at the start of the summer. Catching some fire here. It's looking thicker by the day. Success. The baby pink princesses are still hanging in there. This one has one brown leaf, but yeah, I can't believe these came from that Costa Farms plant. Pretty soon, we're gonna have real baby pink princesses to affix all of our desires to and hope that they grow. Time is passing. Well, that was quite a video. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for being my accountability buddy and letting me share my real feelings, which is something I'm getting better at. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. I hope you found this video helpful, and maybe you can take a few of my tips and utilize them to your benefit. Also, drop me a comment if you have any tips. I'm always looking to make things easier. Take care of yourself. I'll see you so soon you won't even miss me. Okay, bye-bye. Relax. Back to neutral phase.